I'm too busy. What to do when? A second situation that we probably all encounter is the feeling that we're too busy to do something, whether it be to exercise, eat better, or some other thing. And as I've mentioned many times before, I get that. I know that we're more time poor, stretched, busy, constantly on demand than we have been at any point in history. I know this both from 40 odd years of being a human, 20 odd years being in the fitness industry, and a decade of doing this. I get it. I feel busy pretty much all the time. But I also know from all those things that, as in any situation, there's some great questions we can ask that might help us get better results than we would have done otherwise. And a great question to ask when we say I'm too busy is, how busy too busy? And often it's a question we struggle to answer. When people tell me they're too busy, I ask, how busy too busy? And they don't know what I'm talking about. Or I'll say, too busy for what? And at best they'll reply with, this, all of it, losing weight. And it's all a bit vague. Unless we get clear on what we're too busy for, we'll struggle to get clear on what we're not too busy for. And often, when we don't have any definition of what we're too busy for, we'll have nowhere to go. So maybe we are too busy to exercise 5 times a week and to eat like an Olympic athlete. That doesn't mean we aren't too busy to exercise twice a week and to eat better than we could have done in a way that will create a deficit and take us in the direction we want to go in. There might be a different conversation in our head telling us that's not worth doing, but as I've covered many times, that conversation is nonsense. I can absolutely guarantee if you take 2 people, one of whom doesn't exercise at all for a decade, and the other one does 5 minutes 3 times a week of reasonable intensity, you cannot tell me there'll be no difference in their health and fitness after a decade of that. 0 exercise versus 3 lots of 5 minutes of reasonable intensity for a decade. Anything is worth doing, provided there's that bit of volume and intensity in there. Any change that gets us in a calorie deficit will lose us weight. It might not get us in the Olympics, it might not get us stepping on stage as a professional bodybuilder, but that's not what we're after. So when we say we're too busy, what are we too busy for? And what are we not too busy for? And can we just do that instead?